Reuters reported that Iran has informed the United States that its recent attack against 3 commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz were the result of a technical malfunction. What type
Well, that's bullshit too. I mean,
I think they made it up.
yeah, they keep coming up. The U.S. is going to. So what we got going on here? On the one hand, the Trump administration's talking like, we're a tough guy. We're going to kick their ass. Oh, they've come in and apologized, so we don't have to kick their ass now. Meanwhile, they haven't said anything. In fact, there was a U.S. military sent forward a de-confliction team that was supposed to talk to the IRGC about forthcoming talks with the United States. IRGC didn't even show up. They blew it off. Basically, we got nothing to talk to you about. The ICE was like, well, wait a second. We thought this was on. No, we have nothing to talk about.
Larry, there is a report in the Financial Times. It says that Saudi Arabia and UAE, their border trade slows, amid tensions.
Yeah.
And it seems that there is something going on between Saudi Arabia, seriously going on between the two countries in the Gulf. These two.
I mean, it's been going on for at least 3 years.
Yeah, but it didn't come to the trade. Right now, with the trade, is so serious. If they're going that far, you remember when they tried to isolate Qatar, and they literally isolated Qatar. And
I'm not familiar with how important can either country be to the other in terms of trade. I mean, UAE produces oil, right?
Yeah.
Saudis produce oil, so they don't need to trade oil. I presume both produce a modicum of liquid natural gas. I mean, it's an interesting question. Let me find out if there's any answer to it.
It says that it says the disruption at Al Batha crossing has worsened in recent months, with trucks carrying construction equipment, furniture, spare parts, and fresh flowers frequently held without explanations. And some drivers have been forced to sleep beneath their trailers while waiting to enter Saudi Arabia. Basically Saudi Arabia is somehow slowing down the imports of the UAE products.
Well, okay, so if that's the case, so Saudi's sort of cutting it out. So I just looked it up. So the largest export is gold. UAE sends gold to Saudi Arabia, refined petroleum, excavation and construction machinery, and then re-exported consumer goods that come out of, I'm sure, Jebel Ali, as a free trade port, and products out of the food industry. Now, the Saudis, interestingly enough, they send the UAE telephones, ships, some petroleum oils, clothing, and industrial mining sector goods. So I guess, and it says they've got the largest trading relationship in the Arab world, $30 billion annually. So that's quite a bit. So yeah, if that's slowing down and they're pissing on each other, that's going to have an effect as well.
Yeah. I don't know what is the benefit for UAE getting closer to Israel. Is that going to be good for them to sacrifice everything in the Gulf?
It may not be good for all of the citizens of the UAE, but it could be very lucrative for a few members of the Sultanate, the Emiratis. Can't rule that out.
There is a joint investigation, Larry, by Der Spiegel and the Insider and the Le Monde, and they're talking about an extensive secret military cooperation between Russia and China, including discussions on countering Western weapons, disrupting Starlink, training Russian drone operators, and jointly and jointly developing advanced missile defense systems.
Mhm.
And it says this is the new axis of evil. And
Well, it's two. That's not really an axis, but okay.
if you're trying to defend yourself, you're part of the axis of evil.
Yeah. Well, this is some more no shit analysis. I think that's been the case since at least 2023. So, they've discovered, oh, look at that in the east this morning, and this thing's coming up over the horizon. Oh my God, that looks like the sun. Okay. They've discovered that the sun rises in the east. Well done, guys.
Yeah. Today I talked, Larry, with Alistair Crook, and unfortunately this part of the talk was offline. It wasn't on live. He mentioned how Russia managed to use Russia may have some sort of Starlink in Russia. That's why they're using some sort of network for their drones. Nobody knows.
Well, actually, you guys talked about that. They talked about, was it 3-4 weeks ago, Putin made an address and pointed out that they had developed a new system that was basically going to be, let's call it a competitor, alternative to Starlink. And it was going to allow the Russians to do some things with drones that they previously had not been able to. And they're now seeing that take place on the ground. So this Russia is not standing still. That's been one of the most remarkable things about this war. Now it's going into the 4th year, but that Russia is very quickly making technological innovations in response to what they're seeing on the front lines.
Do you think that Donald Trump, during his visit of Turkey, he has received some sort of green light from Turkey that they're going to help him in the ongoing conflict against Iran?
That Turkey's going to help the United States?
Going to help the United States somehow.
I don't see Turkey going to war with Iran at all, unless the Turks are lying to the Pakistanis. And the fact of the matter remains, the public in Turkey is they're very supportive of Iran, and very angry at Erdogan for his failure to oppose the Zionist activity against the people of Gaza.
Larry, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, how do you assess the relationship between the two right now? Are they that close to each other because they were so close? We know that the Trump administration is trying to do everything to improve Benjamin Netanyahu's position in Israel. I don't know, how do you find it right now with the ongoing conflicts and with the growing differences between the two sides? They have different objectives in the West Asia. One side wants to open up the Strait of Hormuz. The other side wants to destroy Iran or destroy Turkey, which is not the agenda, at least for the United States, when it comes to Turkey.
Yeah. Well, so far, Iran continues to call the shots in the Trump administration. Israel continues to call the shots in the Trump administration. And but there is growing opposition to Israel within the American electorate. So it's no longer a net positive; it's a net negative, and it's hurting Trump. And so once it becomes apparent that the continued relationship with Bibi Netanyahu is going to ultimately lead to an electoral tsunami against Trump, that relationship's going to cool considerably.